name's Ariel Rose, and I would love to teach you the basics of EFT. So, EFT is a simple system for releasing stress, physical symptoms, emotional symptoms, mental anxieties of all sorts, just about any belief system, anything that's holding you back. So it can be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, you name it, we can tackle it with EFT. So the basics of EFT is that you're using the body's meridian system, similar to acupuncture, and they run all through the body, these meridians. And in the simple system, we touch on the points. So we touch on the points that are all throughout the body, although we use just a handful of points. So there's more points that could be used. And often, or sometimes when people are tapping by themselves, and it doesn't feel like the right environment, they'll just use 1 or 2 points. So there's a lot of room for play in how you use EFT and how it benefits you, what resonates with you, what calls to you. It's all just a basic, simple model, really. It's like modeling clay. It's something that you can start with and use it the way that you want to, adding it into tools that you already have. And playing with it until you get to a place where you feel like you're able to use it in a way that benefits you in your daily life. So using the meridian points, we tap on them. The first one we usually start with is this one here. And we'll use that with a setup phrase. And the setup phrase is usually something along the lines of, saying the stress is, that I'm afraid to change my job. So you can say, even though I'm afraid to change my job, I still deeply love and completely accept myself. And it can be anything, or even though I have this pain, or even though my mother-in-law is bothering me, or I can't sleep, even though I can't sleep, I still deeply love and completely accept myself. And there's variations on that, but that's the basics. You just want to start with that even though I have this, you're acknowledging that you have it. You'd still like to feel better, and you're acknowledging your desire to heal. Deeply love and completely accept myself. If you can't say that, you could say, as best I can. I deeply love and completely accept myself as best I can. So even though I'm afraid to change jobs, I deeply love and completely accept myself as best I can. And then the next point is going to be on the top of the head. And when you're tapping, it's a gentle tap. It can be a firm tap. I've seen people that really are feeling a strong need to tap stronger. They do that, and that's great too. But I've also seen people who are in so much physical pain with some advanced stages of arthritis and things like that, where tapping hurts. And so just a very gentle, just barely brushing is okay too. Energy is funny that way. It's really, it can be very, very subtle. So top of the eyebrows is the next point. Side of the eyebrows is the next point. Underneath, kind of the cheekbones there. And then your mustache, your chin. The collarbone, it can be either side or both sides. And while you're tapping, you can always tap with 2 hands or 1. It doesn't have to be both sides. I do 2 sides usually while I'm demonstrating. The one I add in that most practitioners haven't learned about yet is the heart. The heart in Chinese medicine is considered the emperor of the entire system. And so I think it's really important, not just because of Chinese medicine, but just because humans are in a place where we need to learn to access our hearts, where most of us are, shutting them down for various reasons. And we've learned to let the intellect and the mind navigate everything. But I really believe that if we can weave the heart into that, then we find a lot of softening and more peace and ease. So I tap on the heart. I encourage you to too. So from the heart, you go down to the liver point, which is I guess you would say it's the lowest rib. It's the edge of the lowest rib. And depending on the shape of your body, you might have a hard time accessing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. None of this has to be perfect. So just as best you can, that lower rib, tap on that. And then you're going to do the bra line on a woman, just under the armpit there. And then you come back up, do the front of the wrist or the back of the wrist, depending on what you consider the front and the back. And then we would move back up to the top of the head. So while we're going through the tapping points, it's great just to tap on them. If you can't say what you need to say, if you're in a public place or in a situation where you're not able to talk, or sometimes clients will be so overcome with emotion just by saying the setup phrase. So they won't be able to tap or they won't be able to say the words. So we just tap. We just tap and I'll say the words, thinking the thoughts. That's all helpful. It's ideal to say them if you can, but if you can't, that's okay too. Sometimes people are so overcome with laughter or with yawning, and so we just can keep tapping right through that. And so we'll usually start with, so even though I have this fear of change, I still deeply love and completely accept myself. Even though I have this fear of change, I don't know what's next. I'm afraid of making a change. Who will I be without this change? If I change my life, what will happen? Will my family reject me? Will my friends reject me? Who will I be? If I change, will I have to change the way I look? Will I have to change the way I dress? Will my children accept me? Is it going to be difficult? Maybe I'm not up for change. Maybe I'm afraid. I really am afraid. I have a right to be afraid. I've had bad experiences in the past. And I'm tapping a little fast here. Normally, in a session, we would be 1-to-1. So I would be pausing for you to respond to me. It's call and response. And we would just play with these ideas. So going through, the ideas, whatever comes up, first of all, what you say, like if there's something that you either say in your intake form, or if you just tell the practitioner or name it, then we can use that. And then we can also use intuition to steer and try to find the root of it so that it can lift. And usually while you're tapping at some point, sometimes you'll do 3 or 4 rounds, sometimes more. If there's a lot of emotion, we just keep tapping until that softens, and sometimes pivot to a different technique that can focus more on slowing the emotion down. But there's, often we'll just allow the emotion to continue and move through and keep tapping. And as we're doing that, something might come up. It's always okay to pause and say, "Hey, I've got an idea. I have something that I want to add." Sometimes people will just throw it out in the middle of the tapping round. That's beautiful as well. And as we continue, we'll just keep tapping. And sometimes there's a total shift in perspective. So maybe somebody will come in and they'll say, "Oh, I'm really angry. I'm angry today. I'm so angry that my dog did this, or my neighbor did this, or my employer did this, or my husband did that." So whatever it is, I'm upset and I'm so angry. I have every right to be angry. This anger, all of this anger, and the anger will shift. And suddenly there's sadness underneath it. Why aren't they there for me? Why do I feel so unsupported? It'll just change, and it'll change for each person. It's totally different. Or, oh, I know why I'm angry. A memory came up and it's tied to this memory. So then we can move and we can follow the thread that emerges from you, maybe with some suggestions from me, but it'll come from you, and we'll move into the next element. What is it? Is it a memory? Is it a belief system? And we'll follow those threads until we've tapped them all down, and they're soft enough. Sometimes they're all the way clear. Sometimes they're soft enough to move forward into the next belief or into the next idea, the next pain. So it's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful relationship. The way I work, I think it's really important to weave in the heart, to weave in connection to the divine. So I find ways to do that. I find ways to, even for people that aren't quite comfortable with the idea of the divine and the sacred, I find ways to just bring that in just simple ways. It's about connecting to beauty and connecting to the breath and connecting to your own soft self, your own higher self, your own peace. And these are all things that we can all strive for. You know, I imagine if somebody isn't open to connecting to peace, that they probably wouldn't be into doing this work. So yeah, so that's the basics of EFT, and I would love to support you in any way. You can definitely do a lot on your own. You can do, I think about 60% is great on your own. And it's fantastic to have somebody to reflect and tap with you and give you ideas. And that's what the protect practitioner's for. That's what I'm here for. I'm happy to help. Yeah. So reach out if there's something that I can do to support you on your journey, to help you feel more comfortable with this technique, to yeah, soften anything in your life that's holding you back. All right. Thanks for being here.